Hello everyone, this is Al Red Sox Fan coming to you from Al Red Sox Fan YouTube channel, and we're going to bring you some all-star lineup baseball with some home brew modifications. Hope everyone's doing well. We have the 2017 Dodgers taking on the 2017 Astros. On the hill for the Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw. For the Houston Astros, Dallas Keuchel. For the visiting Houston Astros, batting first in center field, George Springer. Batting second at third base, Alex Bregman. Batting third, playing second base, Jose Altuve. Batting fourth, the shortstop, Carlos Correa. Batting fifth, playing first base, Yuli Gurriel. Batting sixth, the catcher, Brian McCann. Batting seventh, the left fielder, Marwin Gonzalez. Batting eighth, the right fielder, Josh Reddick. And batting ninth, doing the pitching, Dallas Keuchel, using a pitcher's batter card for his offensive at-bats. For the Los Angeles Dodgers of 2017, leading off playing center field is Chris Taylor. Batting second, playing third base is Justin Turner. Batting third, playing first base is Cody Bellinger. Batting fourth, the right fielder, Yasiel Puig. Batting fifth, playing left field, Enrique Hernandez. Batting sixth, playing shortstop, Corey Seager. Batting seventh, playing second base, Logan Forsythe. Batting eighth, doing the catching, Austin Barnes. Batting ninth, doing the pitching, Clayton Kershaw. In the chat, we have Bobby Catalano, hello, and Beatles Eternally, good friend from the channel, as he says he's just staying a second, as he's going to do some recording in addition to some live streams. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, so we're going to play this game, a little homebrew modifications. What we've done is on any ball that any play off of the pitcher's card, we roll for an error. If you're a green defender, you need to an error will occur. If you roll a 1, it's an error possibility, and then we roll again, so you have to roll a double 1 basically. And if you're a beige defender, brown defender, whatever you want to call it, beige defender, that's a 1 or a 2. And if you're a blue defender, a 1, 2, or 3 will result in an error. On the hitter's card, if you are a green hitter and you roll a 20, we're going to count that as a strikeout. And the same thing with beige, it would be 19 and 20. And then if you are blue, it would be 20, 19, and 18. So those are some of the modifications we've made. If it is an even matchup on the pitcher-batter interaction, we'll just go with the highest roll off the red and black die. I played it a bit, seems okay. We're just trying it out to see how we're going to go here. So, all right, due up. Let me get my pen here. For the visiting Houston Astros, Springer, Bregman, and Altuve. And that is a green, Kershaw's green against green. So it's an even up exchange, lefty-righty, no advantage there. Pitcher has the 8-sided die against the 6-sided die of the red batter. And Kershaw wins that. And that's a 14. So a 14 is a ground ball. Let's see who the ground ball is hit to. And it's a number out in front of the plate. So the catcher is Austin Barnes. He is a beige color. So that would be a 1 or 2 to see if there's a possible error. It's an 18. He makes the play. So 1 out as Springer goes out 2-3. So there's 1 out. And that will bring up Alex Bregman. And he's a green batter versus a green pitcher, so no advantage there. Righty, lefty, no advantage there, so it's a straight-up roll. And once again, that's a 2 for Kershaw against a 1, so he comes out on top. 1 through 8's a strikeout, and he picks up a strikeout. So he strikes out Bregman, 2 down. So 2 outs, base is empty. And that will bring up Jose Altuve, green batter, righty against a lefty, against a green pitcher, so even Stevens. And it's a 1 and a 1. And now we're just going to go off the highest roll here. And that's a 19 for Kershaw. And a 19 is a fly ball up in the air. And that is a pop up to third. The third baseman for the Dodgers is Justin Turner. He's beige, so a 1 or a 2 for Turner. And it's a 7. He makes the play. Side is retired as Altuve pops out to third. Go to the bottom of the first. No score. Due up for the Dodgers of 2017 to face Dallas Keuchel for the Astros. Taylor, Turner, and Bellinger. Keuchel is a beige pitcher against Taylor, who's a beige batter. Lefty, righty, so it's straight up, no advantage for anyone here, except the normal advantage a pitcher has. And Keuchel wins that 8-4. We go off the Keuchel card, and that's a 1, and he strikes out Taylor. So 1 away as he strikes out Taylor. And now bring up Justin Turner, third baseman. Caught the pop-up from Altuve. Here's the pitch to Turner. And it's a 5 and a 5. Ooh, excuse me. Still battling this freaking cold. Now my fever's come back. That's always a thrill. All right, so we're going to go straight up off the highest roll. And that is a 6, excuse me, against a 5. So we're going to go off the Keuchel card, and that's a strikeout. So Keuchel strikes out Taylor and now Turner. So no TNT for the first 2 batters, Taylor and Turner. So 2 outs, base is empty. And here comes Cody Bellinger. He is a left-handed batter, and he is green. So he gets +1 for being green against a beige pitcher. But lefty-lefty matchups, +1 for Keuchel, so it's straight up. And it's a 3 and a 3 once again. Highest roll wins. And 19-16. So we go to the Keuchel card. That's a fly. That ball is up in the air. Let's see where it's hit to. And that ball is a pop-up towards the mound. And Keuchel's a beige fielder. And unlike real baseball, he'll try to make the catch. And he does as we roll an 11. So a rare pop out to the pitcher. 1, 2, 3 go the Dodgers. We go. Top of the second. No score. Due up for the Dodgers, Correa, Gurriel, and McCann. So Kershaw will deal to Correa. Green pitcher against a green batter. So that's even Stevens, righty-lefty. No advantage for either. And that's an 8 for Keuchel against a 5 for Correa. We go to the Keuchel card. I mean the Kershaw card, excuse me. And that's a 19. A 19 is a ball hit up in the air. And that goes towards the first baseman. That's a pop-up. The first baseman is Bellinger. He is beige. So a 1 or a 2 might bring an error check. And it's an 18. No error check. He makes the catch on the pop-up. So Kershaw jams him. 1 out. And now bring up Yuli Gurriel, excuse me. And that's a beige batter versus a green pitcher, +1 for Kershaw. And no other advantage as it's righty-lefty. Here's the pitch from Kershaw to Gurriel. And Gurriel is a 4, but it's a +1. 4 versus 3, so it's 4-4. We go to the higher roll, and it's going to be Gurriel, and that is a 2. And Yuli Gurriel with a 2, that's a 1-out single. So Gurriel singles. He's at first, and here comes left-handed batting Brian McCann. So a lefty-lefty, that's a +1 for Kershaw. And then a green versus a beige, that's another +1, so it's +2 for Kershaw on the roll. He's already had the 8-sided die advantage against a 6-sided die advantage, and he wins it anyway. So we go to the Kershaw card, and that is a 16. A 16 is another ball hit up in the air, and that's going to go out to center field. And playing center field is Taylor. He is a beige defender. So a 1 or 2 will prompt an error check. It is a 3. He makes the running catch for out number 2. Retreating back to first is Gurriel. And that will bring up Marwin Gonzalez. And he's a right-handed batter, so no advantage there for Kershaw. And he's a green batter, so again, no advantage. It's a straight-up roll. Here's the pitch from Kershaw to Gonzalez, and it's a 2 for Kershaw and a 5 for Marwin Gonzalez. We go off the Gonzalez card, and that is a 12. And a 12 off the Gonzalez card. That ball is gone. So Marwin Gonzalez. Oh, I'm sorry. That is a double. That is a double. That is a double. And let's see where that ball's hit. To left field. The left fielder is Enrique Hernandez. He is a beige defender. Yasiel Puig is a beige runner. So it's second and third right now with 2 outs. Josh Reddick coming up. We could walk Reddick to get. That's what we probably would do. So the Dodgers are going to take a shot here. And this is the one little chart I have to look at. It's in the book. Hold on a second. So beige versus beige, that's a 0 advantage for anyone. So 1 through 3, he's safe. 4 through 6, he is out there waving him around. Here's a throw to the plate, and it's a 1. He is safe. 1-0. Astros. Yeah, 1 through 3 safe. 4 through 6 out. And advancing, actually staying at second with the RBI, double is Gonzalez. So Gurriel scores all the way from first with 2 outs on the Gonzalez double off Kershaw. And Josh Reddick comes to the plate, and we're going to walk him intentionally. So an intentional walk for Reddick. And that will bring up Keuchel. And I forgot to do this. Have these we can put on. So Reddick's at first. Gonzalez is at second. And that's a blue batter versus a green pitcher. So that's +2 or -2, however you want to look at it. Here's the pitch from Kershaw to Keuchel. And Kershaw wins it outright. And that's a 5. He strikes him out. Side is retired. But the Astros get 1 in the top of the second on the Marwin Gonzalez 2-out double, scoring Yuli Gurriel. And it's 1-0 Houston. Top of the order. Living my Rhapsodies in the chat. How are you, my friend? Hope all is well. So due up for the Dodgers will be Yasiel Puig, then Enrique Hernandez, and Corey Seager. 1-0, bottom of the second. Keuchel struck out 2 in the bottom of the first. Here's the pitch to Puig, and Keuchel loses that 4-3, as they're both beige and different lefty righty. So straight up, we go off the Puig card, and he's a beige batter. So if he rolls a 19 or 20, that will be a strikeout. And he rolls an 8, and that is a double. So here come the Dodgers, and that's a double for Yasiel Puig. Tying run at second base. And Enrique Hernandez comes up. We could bunt him over. He does have a sacrifice number there. With Corey Seager on deck, and he's green. Oh, he does not have a bunt number. I'm sorry, that's a sac fly. So there's no bunting as odds in this game is he's going to not be successful. I have to figure out how to mod that slightly. But I'm trying to stick with the number coding with the games. So, righty. No outs. Puig at second. Here's the pitch from Keuchel to Hernandez. Beige versus beige. And righty versus lefty. So straight up roll, except the advantage of the pitcher die. And Keuchel wins that 3-2. And that's a 1. Another strikeout. Keuchel hitting his spots. He strikes out Enrique Hernandez. So 1 out. Puig's at second. And here comes a shortstop, Corey Seager. Corey Seager's a green batter, but he's a left-handed batter. So the green's a +1 for the batter, and the left-handed lefty-lefty matchup's +1 for the pitcher, so it's even Stevens. Here's the pitch from Keuchel to Seager, and that is a 6 and a 6. We go to the higher roll on the 20-sided dice, and that's a 15 for Keuchel. That is a ground ball, and let's see who that's hit to. And it's a number in front of the plate. He's going to play the ball to first. And I believe we're not going to send Puig. A number in front of the plate with Puig. We're going to say Puig's going. But we're going to get the sure out at, we're going to go to first. So our catcher is Barnes. He's a beige defender. So a 1 or 2 will induce an error check. And it's a 12. He throws him out. Advancing to third is Puig. There's 2 outs now. As Seager is out 2-3. Tying run 90 feet away for the Dodgers. And Logan Forsythe is at the plate. Here's the pitch to Forsythe. He is a right-handed batter versus a left-handed pitcher, so that's even. Beige versus beige, that's even. It's a straight-up roll. And he wins it 5-2, so he might be able to tie this game up. And he is a beige batter, so a 19 or a 20 is a strikeout on his card. And it's a 14, and a 14 is a walk. He does not tie it. So it's a 2-out walk for Forsythe, and it's first and third. And Houston will take that result for now. And here comes Austin Barnes, the catcher. First and third, 2 outs, 1-0, Houston. And here's Barnes. Barnes is a green catcher and a right-handed batter, so it's a +1 for Barnes. As righty-lefty, no advantage for either, but green versus beige, +1 advantage for Barnes, the green batter. And it doesn't matter because it's a 6 for Keuchel and a 2 for Barnes. This inning could be over pending error check. And that's an 8. That is a ground ball. And again, it's a number in front of the plate. Man, I roll a lot of 2s. The catcher for Houston is McCain. I think by accident I did it the other way, but he's a beige catcher anyway, too. Actually, no, he's a blue catcher. Wouldn't have mattered. There was no error on it. I looked at the wrong catcher card. All right, so that's not good. He's not a good defensive catcher. 1, 2, or 3 will have a pending error check, and it's an 8. He makes the play. So McCain throws out. Barnes' side is retired. Puig is stranded at third. I think I said Barnes before. Go to the top of the third, 1-0 Dodgers. Kershaw will lead off for the Dodgers in the bottom of the third. Top of the order for Houston, they're up 1-0, and here comes George Springer. Grounded out as the catcher threw him out. Green versus Green, that's even. Righty-lefty, no advantage, and Springer wins at 6-1. We go off the Springer card, and that's a 7, and that's a single. So Springer singles here in the top of the third. I'll bring up Bergman. He struck out his first time up against Kershaw. Green versus Green, so that nullifies each other. Righty-lefty nullifies each other. Straight up roll. Kershaw wins it 6-2. Like to get a strikeout here, and he does. That's a 3, and he Ks Bergman for a second time. So 1 out, 1 on. And here comes Jose Altuve. Altuve popped out to third his first time up. Altuve's a green batter against a green pitcher, so that nullifies each other. It's a wash. Righty-lefty, that's a wash. Straight up roll. Kershaw wins it 3-1. We go to the Kershaw card again, and that's a 14. A 14 is a ball hit on the ground, and it goes back to Kershaw. Kershaw is a beige defender, and a beige defender, a 1 or a 2 will induce an error check, and it's a 15. He makes the play, and that's probably a double play ball. Do we want to go for 2 on the ball hit back to Kershaw? Springer's at first. Beige runner against a beige defender. Even Stevens 1 through. See, I don't like that rule either. A ball hit back to the pitcher. They're going to get the lead runner most likely in turn 2. We're going to call that a double play. Inning over. That's a double play, and the inning is over. So that's going to go 1-6-3. Bottom of the third, still 1-0 Houston. Due up. For the Dodgers, Kershaw in the top of the order, Taylor and Turner. Keuchel deals to his counterpart, Kershaw, and Kershaw wins it 3-1. Kershaw's blue against beige, so that makes it 3-2. So Kershaw will have an opportunity to get a hit here. And again, he's a blue batter, so he will strike out on 18, 19, and 20. And it's a 9, and a 9 is a double. So Kershaw doubles. He surprises everyone with a leadoff double. And you don't want to make that mistake. Tying run at second, and it's a pitcher. So Kershaw doubles. to the cheers of the Dodgers fans. So Kershaw's at second, top of the order. Chris Taylor. The Dodgers have already stranded the tying run at third. And now coming up is Chris Taylor, and Taylor struck out his first time up against Keuchel. And again, beige versus beige. Righty-lefty, no advantage, just the straight-up pitcher and batter dice roll. And that is a 6 and a 6. Higher die will win on the 20-sided dies. And a 17 for Keuchel against an 11. And this ball's hit up in the air. And that goes out to the second baseman. The second baseman is Altuve. He's a green defender, so only a 1 will produce an error check, and it's a 5. He catches the pop-up. And that is 1 down, with Kershaw still at second. And Justin Turner comes to the plate. Turner struck out his first time up, I believe. Yes, he did. Keuchel deals to Turner, and that is a 4-5, plus Turner's a green, so it's a 6-4, doesn't matter. We go to the Turner card, and let's see what he'll roll here. That's a 16. Only a 20 would have been a strikeout off of his card, so a 16. And again, they can't take advantage, so you're looking at a 16. That's a walk, which will set up a double play. So 1 out, 2 on. And I'll bring up Cody Bellinger, and he popped out to first. So Turner's at first. Clayton Kershaw's at second, 1 out. Cody Bellinger, green batter versus green pitcher. So that stays even Stevens. That nullifies, that washes each other. And righty-lefty, that washes each other. Actually, he's a lefty, excuse me. Lefty-lefty, so that's going to be +1 for Kershaw. And he doesn't need it anyway. He wins it 4-1. We go to the Kershaw card. 2 outs, 1 out, 2 on. And that's a 19. That's a ball hit up in the air. And it's a pop-up to the catcher. And that's Barnes. He's a beige defender. So a 1 or a 2 will get an error check. And it's an 8. He makes the catch. Oh, I did that wrong again. God damn it. It's McCain. He's blue, so a 1, 2, or 3 would have been an error check. It's an 8. He still makes the catch. I always look at Barnes for some reason. He's the Dodger catcher. So that's a pop out to McCain. So there's 2 outs, 2 on. Dodgers perilously close to stranding the tying and go-ahead run on base once again. And here comes Yasiel Puig. He doubled and was stranded at third in the bottom of the second. Chance to tie it up or put the Dodgers ahead. Puig, if we go to his card, 10, 11, and 12 are home runs. Here's the pitch from Keuchel to Puig, plus he's a green batter. No, he's a beige batter, excuse me. So even Stevens, righty-lefty. But Keuchel wins it 6-2. This inning should be over pending error check. And that's a 10. And that's a ball hit on the ground to third. And the third baseman is Bregman. He's a beige defender. So a 1 or a 2 will induce an error check. It's a 9 inning over, 5-3. So Puig grounds out 5-3. And the Dodgers once again strand the tying run in scoring position. We go to the top of the fourth. Hello, JD and Jake Cruz. How you doing, my friends? Check out those wonderful channels. JD, Jake Cruz, good friend of the channel. Living My Rhapsody, another fun channel. Check them all out. Good stuff. Good stuff. So Enrique Hernandez will lead off the next inning for the Dodgers. Due up for Houston, Correa, Gurriel, and McCain. Here's the pitch to Carlos Correa. He popped out to first his first time up. Crenshaw deals to Correa. Green versus green, so that washes. Righty-lefty washes. Straight up roll, 5-3 for Crenshaw. 1 through 8's a K. It's a 5. He strikes him out. Good way to start off the top of the fourth. He strikes out Correa, 1 down. And now bring up Yuli Gurriel. He scored on the Marwin Gonzalez 2-out double in the top of the second, thus the 1-0 lead. Beige batter versus a green pitcher, so that's +1 for the pitcher. Righty-lefty, nothing there. Here's the pitch from Crenshaw to Gurriel, and Crenshaw wins it anyway, 7-5. Would have went up to 8-5. Doesn't matter. Again, 1 through 8's a K, and it's a 4. Another strikeout for Kershaw. What do I call him? Crenshaw? Kershaw. I love having a fever. It's wonderful. So there's 2 outs. And I'll bring up Brian McCann. McCann, the catcher, flew out to center his first at-bat. He is a beige batter versus a green pitcher, so that's +1 for the pitcher. Lefty-lefty, another +1. So that's a 2 advantage for Clayton Kershaw. Here's the pitch of Brian McCann, and it doesn't matter. He wins it outright, 4-3. We don't have to go to the modifications. Can Kershaw strike out the side 1 through 8? He will. It's an 11. He will not. An 11 is a ground ball hit to the third baseman. The third baseman is Bregman. He's a beige defender, so a 1 or a 2 will induce an error check. It's an 11. Inning over. 5 God damn it, I went to the wrong guy again. Kershaw. Third baseman's Turner. Turner's a beige defender. It doesn't matter. Same thing. 5-3. So McCain grounds out to Turner. So when I'm with the Dodgers, I always say I always want to say Barnes when it's supposed to be McCain. And when it's third base for Houston, I always want to say it's Turner. And he's a Dodger. But anyway, results are the same. We go to the bottom of the fourth, 1-0 Houston. Due up for the Dodgers. Hernandez, Marwin Gonzalez would be the next one. It's Enrique Hernandez, Corey Seager, and Logan Forsythe. Bottom of the fourth, 1-0. Dodgers have had their opportunities. So Keuchel against Enrique Hernandez, beige versus beige. That's a wash. Righty-lefty, and that too is a wash. Here's the pitch from Keuchel to Hernandez, and it's a 4-4. So the higher 20-sided die roll. And this time, Enrique Hernandez wins that. That's an 11. And that ball is gone. Enrique Hernandez homers. And we have a tie ball game. Touch them all. It's 1-1. A home run by Enrique Hernandez. To the joy of the Dodger faithful here in LA. So it's a 1-1 ball game. No outs. And here comes Corey Seager, the shortstop. And Seager nubbed one in front of the plate that McCain threw him out. Seager's a green batter versus a beige pitcher, and that's a +1 for the batter. However, he is a left-handed batter, and that's a +1 for the pitcher. So it's a wash overall. Here's the pitch from Keuchel to Seager. And Keuchel rolls an 8 against the Seager 2. We go to the Keuchel card, and that's a 16. And a 16 is a ball hit on the ground to the first baseman. And the first baseman for Houston is Yuli Gurriel. He's a beige defender, so a 1 or a 2 will induce an error check. It's a 15. He has it. He flips to Keuchel covering the bag for out number 1. So if you're scoring at home, that's 3-1. 1 out, 1-1 ball game thanks to the Enrique Hernandez homer. And here comes Logan Forsythe. Logan Forsythe. Forsythe walked his first time up. Here's the pitch from Keuchel. Beige versus beige, righty versus lefty. So it's a straight up roll, no advantage for anyone except for the pitcher's die, which is an 8 versus a 6-sided die, but it doesn't matter as that's 6-4 for Forsythe, and he's a beige batter. So he will reach safely 1 through 18. 19 and 20 will be a strikeout, and it's a 1, and he singles with 1 out. So that's a single for Forsythe. And now bring up Austin Barnes, the catcher. One out. They're hoping to turn the double play here. Barnes is a green batter versus a beige pitcher. That's a +1. Righty, lefty, no advantage. So Austin Barnes will have a +1. He nubbed one in front of the plate and was thrown out by McCain in his first at-bat. Here's the pitch from Keuchel, and that's a 4 and a 4. Even Stevens, higher 20-sided die roll. And that's a 16 and a 16. And when we have that, we go to the wild card. And pitcher injury. We're not doing pitcher injury. So we'll get rid of that card. I should have pulled it. Batter ejected. We're not doing that one. Bench clear and brawl. I like it, but we're not doing it. Rain delay. Good God almighty. Did I have all the wacky ones on top? Should have pulled those. Another injury. Wild pitch. All right, we'll do that one. Wild pitch. Runner advances to second. So Austin Barnes will get a second opportunity or 1 out, and now Forsythe's in scoring position. I forgot to take out the wacky things, which are fun if you're playing, if you want to play. You know, you got pitcher injured. They're all good things. Bench clearing brawl, that's kind of fun. A pitcher ejected from the game. Batter ejected from the game for arguing with the ump. I just don't feel like putting in new players. I'm testing out my home brew. And so if you roll, it was a 4 and a 4, and that was even Steven. There was no modification for either. And then we rolled a 16 and a 16. That's when we go to the wild card. So that was a wild pitch. So Austin Barnes gets another opportunity with a runner in scoring position. Forsythe's at second. He takes a lead. Here's the pitch to Barnes again. I might have messed that up. Green versus blue. Righty, right? I think I did mess that up. He should have had a +1. Maybe he did, and I didn't see it. Anyway, that's what it is now. So he actually has a +1. Green versus beige, +1. Righty, lefty, no advantage. He has a +1. And it's a 4-2 for the batter anyway. We go to the Barnes card. And that's a 20. And he's a green batter. And the only thing he can strike out on is a 20. And he strikes out. So that's a little twist I put in there. So there's 2 outs now. It was too much when you're on one card or the other. You got to give it something, in my opinion. So there's 2 outs now. As he strikes out, had a big opportunity, missed the hanging curveball. Over anxious there. And here comes Clayton Kershaw. I probably should have walked Barnes with the guy on second now that I'm thinking about it. But it all worked out. It all worked out, folks. Here's the pitch to Kershaw. He's blue versus beige, so that's a +1 for Keuchel. And it doesn't matter. Again, Kershaw gets a favorable roll, 6-3. Can Kershaw get another hit? That is a 6. And he does. That's a single to center field. So that ball is to the center fielder, George Springer. He's a beige defender. And Forsythe is a green runner. So that's a +1 if we wave him around. And there's 2 outs. We're going to wave him around. All right. So 1 through 3 safe, 4 through 6 out. But Forsythe's a green versus a beige. So now it's 1 and 2. I think I got that mixed up here. 1, 2. So 1 through 4 is safe. 5 and 6 is out. He's being waved around. Here's the throw, and it's a 4, and he is safe. So the modification works, and it's 2-1 Dodgers. Kershaw stays at first. So a clutch 2-out single by Kershaw. He's 2 for 2. And he's picked up an RBI, so the Dodgers scored 2 in this inning. That wild pitch comes back to haunt Houston. He has an RBI, Kershaw. Top of the order now with 2 outs. And Clayton Kershaw is at first. 2-1 Dodgers. They come back to take the lead. And it's Chris Taylor here in the bottom of the 4th. And Taylor has struck out and popped out. Taylor, a beige batter versus a beige pitcher, righty-lefty, so no advantage, just a straight-up die roll. And that's a 6 versus a 7. The pitcher's die has the advantage all the time. So we go to the Keuchel card. 1 through 7 is a strikeout, and it's a 4. He strikes him out. Side is retired here in the bottom of the 4th. But the Dodgers get 2 and take the lead 2-1. Go to the top of the 5th. As Itinerary Hobbyist says, I played my first game of All-Star Baseball this week in the free version. Pretty fun. Yeah, it's a cool game. It's different. I modded mine a little bit. And then I will tell Craig, see what he thinks about my mods. I still trying to figure out the sacrifice bunt, though that's... I have to look into that more. And double plays, I'm still... what you're supposed to do is take all the fielders involved and call it out. Either go for the sure thing or try to turn 2. When I've played that offline, I have too many results that you don't even get an out. So, and that to me was slightly unrealistic. All right. So he strikes out Taylor. Turner will lead off the bottom of the 5th when the Dodgers come back out. I do like this game. It's very fun. It's different. It plays differently. I don't know how well it would play for season replays, but it is fun. Short series or just team against team. I do like it. And like I said, I've played offline since the first time I played. But these are my modifications I made, and I kind of like them. I'm still tweaking it all the time. And I've done this with other games too, but I really do like this game. I think Craig created a nice game. He has, some people who are playing these straight-up replays, I don't think this is for them if they don't have an open mind to play a different type of game, and that's fine. That's fine. I do like it. It's a fun game. It's enjoyable. All right, top of the 5th, 2-1 now Dodgers, and it'll be Gonzalez, Reddick, and Keuchel, the pitcher, to face Clayton Kershaw. So Kershaw's a green pitcher versus a green batter. That washes. And lefty versus righty, that washes. It's a straight-up roll. Again, pitcher always having the advantage, just like in real life. And that's 6-1 Kershaw, so it doesn't even matter. Kershaw looking for a 1 through 8 for a K. He gets a 12. And a 12 is a ball hit on the ground to the second baseman. The second baseman for the Dodgers is Logan Forsythe. Ah, man, I messed that up. Green is his defensive rating, not his run rating. So Houston will play this under a protest, but I did roll a... He should have been out. Bad call by the umpire. I looked at the wrong coloring. Oh, well, that's what it is. Bad call. And he's a green defender, so only a 1 will bring an error check. It's a 12, and that is a ground out to second for Marwin Gonzalez, as Houston's still peeved at the call at the plate. That's why I record these things, so I go back and watch, not just for your enjoyment, but also when we're tweaking things, I can see. So there's 1 out, And check out Itinerary Hobbies' channel, wonderful military strategy channel. As Itinerary Hobby says, I like the different dice. I do too. I like that concept. I do like that concept. So it's a fun game. I enjoy it. Now, is it everyone's cup of tea? No, but oh well. I don't care. I like it. You know, you got to do what's good for you. I play a lot of different games. Variety is the spice of life. Here comes Josh Reddick. Reddick was intentionally walked his first time up. Reddick is a green batter versus a green pitcher, so that washes righty. Is he a lefty? He is a lefty. He is a lefty versus a lefty. I think I messed that. Oh, we walked him anyway the first time. So he is a lefty, right? Let me check. That's the other thing. I wish he didn't. I mean, the silhouettes are cool, but I wish he just had righties and lefties, or you could just add that to it. I mean, the silhouettes are cool and all, but and some things you're just used to look to see righty, lefty, and when you're not familiar with, and I'm pretty sure he's a lefty. Let me just look at the silhouette, because McCain's definitely a lefty. Where the hell is the silhouette thing? I mean, I like where he went with a lot of these. Yeah, he's a lefty. I knew that. Okay. I like what the things he did. The other thing I think that kind of hurt the game with some people, there's no stats on the cards. Again, it's a different type of game. I would have liked to have seen some stats on what they did that year. I mean, again, easily to look up in Baseball Reference. But. And I've said these things to Craig on when we message back and forth. Here's the pitch to Reddick, and there is one out. No one on. As Gonzalez grounded out. And so it's a green wash, lefty +1 for Kershaw. Doesn't matter. Kershaw rolls a 6 against a 2. Kershaw 1 through 8's a strikeout. It's a 16. Ball is in play, and that's going to be hit up in the air. And that's a 9 to center field. The center fielder is Taylor. And Taylor is a beige defender, so a 1 or a 2 will produce an error check. No error. He makes the running catch. 2 outs in the top of the 5th. And here comes Keuchel. And we go to, he has a batter's card for the pitcher. And it's blue versus green, so it's a 2 advantage for Kershaw. And he needs it, as it's a 5-3, so it becomes a 5-5, or however you want to say 3-3. It's even Stevens. And now we're just going to go off the higher die roll between black and red. And red wins it 9 versus 2. And a 9 is a single. So Keuchel singles with 2 outs. Tying run at first. Again, Houston not happy with the call at the plate on Logan Forsythe. And the replay showed he was clearly out. Called him safe. My faux pas on that. So 2 outs top of the order, and here's George Springer. So Keuchel singles. He had struck out in his first at-bat. And here's George Springer. He is grounded out and singled. Springer is a green batter versus a green pitcher. That is a wash. Righty-lefty is a wash, so it's an even roll. And he wins it 6-2. So the batter wins the roll. And that's a 5. And that's a single. So station to station. Keuchel moves up to second. Springer's at first now. Coming up is Alex Bregman. Tying run at second, and Keuchel. Beige base runner. I mean, a blue base runner, excuse me. Blue base runner. So that's not good. So Keuchel moves up to second. Springer picks up his second hit. So 2 outs, 2 on for Bregman. 2-1 ball game, Dodgers. Green batter versus green pitcher, that's a wash. Righty lefty's a wash. Even Steven roll, and that is a 6 for Kershaw and a 5 for Bregman. Kershaw could end it here, and it's a 3. Strikes him out. Side is retired. Tying run and go ahead run left at the plate, and Bergman is struck out 3 times. Ouch. Bottom of the 5th. 2-1 Dodgers. Coming up for the Dodgers. So Bergman strikes out. Altuve will lead off the next inning. Coming up for the Dodgers, Justin Turner. And then Bellinger and Puig. Justin Turner in the game is 0 for 1. He is struck out and walked. He's a green batter, and Keuchel is a beige pitcher, righty, lefty, so no effect there, but a +1 for Turner. And it's a 1 red die and a 2 black die, but it's a +1 for Turner, the batter, so it's 2-2. We go to the higher roll on the 20-sided dies, and it's Keuchel, 11-7, and that is a ball hit on the ground to the first baseman. As we roll a 3, the first baseman is Yuli Gurriel. He's a beige defender. So a 1 or a 2 will produce an error check, and it's a 5. He makes the play as he flips to Keuchel for the out. That goes 3-1. That's out number 1. Now bring up another green batter, Cody Bellinger, and he's the first baseman. Bellinger has popped out twice. Green versus green, that is a wash. Bellinger is a lefty versus a lefty, so it's a +1 for the pitcher. That's a 2 for the batter against a 4 for the pitcher, so it doesn't matter. We go to the Clayton Kershaw card, and that, I messed that up. Redo. I do this every once in a while. Keuchel is beige. Bellinger is green. +1 batter, but then it's lefty, +1 pitcher. So it's even Steven. And I rolled a 4 and a 2. So we go to the Keuchel card. And it was a, well, we'll just do this again. It's a 2, he strikes him out. Alright, so Keuchel strikes out Bellinger. It's 2 outs. No one on. And here comes Yasiel Puig. He's a Dodger, Al, so look at the Houston Astro pitcher. Beige versus beige. Righty-lefty. It's a straight-up pitcher-batter die roll. And Puig has a 6. Keuchel has a 3. We go to the Puig card. Dodgers up 2-1. Puig gets a home run, 10, 11, and 12. And that is a 15. Strikeout would have been 19 and 20 because he's a beige batter. My homebrew rules. So that's a 15. And that is a walk. So a 2-out walk by Puig. Inning stays alive. And now bring up the man who hit the home run in the 4th, Enrique Hernandez. So Puig's at first, and here comes Enrique Hernandez. Keuchel's beige, Enrique Hernandez is beige. That's a wash. Righty-lefty, that's a wash. So it's a straight-up batter-pitcher die roll, and it's 4-3 Keuchel. So we go to the Keuchel card. 1 through 7 is a strikeout. It's a 17, and that ball is up in the air. Wave your hands like you just don't care. Another pop-up as he jams him for the first baseman. The first baseman for the Astros is Yuli Gurriel. He's a beige defender. 1 or 2 will produce an error check. It's a 3. So he struggles with the ball but makes the catch, and the side is retired. As Hernandez pops out to Gurriel, we go to the top of the 6th. 2-1 Dodgers, and a bad call by the umpire at the plate, which was me. Now, the normal rules say after 5 innings, the pitcher is tired, and you would then switch from the 8-sided black die to the 6-sided black die, making it a more even matchup with modification still, with the modifications. But my home brew rule says, well, both pitchers seem like they're pitching pretty damn well, and I've actually moved it up to 6 innings. And you can go into Baseball Reference and see the average innings they throw to know. But again, the rules in the rule book, it's 5 innings, and then you make the switch, and I just want to double check with that. And that's another thing that I think Beatles Eternally actually brought up. If you make an older team, those guys pitch 9 innings. You're going to have to... Again, it's a wonderful game. I like this game a lot, but there's a few things. But again, you can mod it. I'm going to make a game work for me. Most of it already did work for me. I really do like it. So I think it is 5 innings. As a rule of thumb, apply an average or disadvantage to the batters. Yeah, I already know that. Pitcher's fatigue. After the 5th inning, a starting pitcher will roll the 6th die instead of the 8-sided die. Well, I'm going to do that. I'm going to say both pitchers are fresh. They're going to continue to roll the 8-sided die. As you can see, it's a 2-1 game. No one's really... If one pitcher gets beaten up in the inning, then I will change it. It is at my discretion. All right, so now, top of the 6th, due up for Houston. Altuve, Correa, and Gurriel. Dodgers up 2-1. Protest has been lodged. But they can't really argue with a bad call, as the replay didn't have a changeover. So Altuve is a right-handed batter versus Kershaw, left-handed pitcher. Nothing there, and Green versus Green, nothing there. It's a straight-up roll. And Kershaw rolls a 7. He hits his spot because that's a 1 for Altuve. We go to the Kershaw card. 1 through 8 is another K. It's an 18. And 18 is a ball hit up in the air. And that is going to go to right field. The right fielder for the Dodgers is Yasiel Puig, and he is a green defender. So only a 1 will produce an error check, and it's a 19. He makes the catch. So nice running catch by Yasiel Puig to get the first out here in the top of the 6th, 2-1 ball game. And now I'll bring up Correa, the shortstop, and he's a green batter and a right-handed hitter versus a green pitcher and a left-handed pitcher. So it's even Stevens, as I like to say. He's popped out and struck out. Will he be another Kershaw victim via the K? We shall see. Here's the pitch from Kershaw to Correa, and it's a 1 versus a 2. And Correa wins it, as it's a red 2 versus a black 1. We go to the Correa card, and we roll the 20-sided die. That is a 2, and that is a 1-out single. So Correa singles, tying run at first with 1 out, and Yuli Gurriel will come to the plate. And Correa is a green base runner, so that's the best you can be. And here's Yuli Gurriel. He is 1 for 2. He singled, scored, and struck out. Correa is also... He's a blue base runner, so he's slow. All right, here we go. So Yuli Gurriel is a right-handed batter versus a left-handed pitcher. No advantage for either, but Kershaw's green versus beige, so it's a +1 Kershaw. And he doesn't need it as he wins the roll 7-2. We go to the Kershaw card, and that's a 17, and that is a ball hit up in the air. Wave your hands like you just don't care. That's a 10. Ball hit to center field, and Chris Taylor is a beige defender. So a 1 or a 2 will produce an error check. It's a 15. He makes the catch, and that's out number 2. Retreating back to first is Correa. And I'll bring up Brian McCann. And he will go, it'll be a +2 for Kershaw. Beige batter versus a green pitcher, lefty-lefty. They trail by 1, Houston. Top of the 6th. Do we want to go to a pinch hitter? As he's flown to center and grounded to third. Who do we have for a pinch hitter? Anyone of note? No, not really. You go to Carlos Beltran. He's a righty and beige, so it'd only be a +1. Then we have to come with a new catcher. Who's the other catcher? Juan Centeno. He's actually a better defender, but a worse hitter. 6th inning. We're going to go Carlos Beltran. What's his home runs? 11, 12, and 13. Beltran's 13 and 14. Nope, we're going to let McCain hit for himself, though. That's a -2. Yep, McCain's going to hit. He's due. I feel lucky with McCain. All right, 2 outs. Correa's at first. Here's the pitch to McCain. Again, +2 advantage for Kershaw, and he wins it 6-5. 5 for the batter, 4 for the pitcher, but +2 for the pitcher makes it 6-5. Should have went the other way, Al. So we go to the Kershaw card, and it's a 2. He strikes him out. Side is retired. Another K for Kershaw. And they leave the tying run at first. Bottom of the 6th, still 2-1 Dodgers. And Marwin Gonzalez will lead off the next inning for Houston. Due up for the Dodgers, Seager, Forsythe, and Barnes. I should have went to the pinch hitter. Itinerary Hobbyist says, how do the colors on the cards affect the play? Well, a green, again, so Clayton Kershaw is green. All right? That's the best you can be, green. That's the defense, the pitching ability here. This is his fielding ability, but just his pitching ability is green. So against McCain is beige. So that's already, green is the best, beige is in the middle, and blue sucks, or is the worst. So it's a +1 for McCain on the roll, on Kershaw's roll. But he's also a lefty, and again, the way the game's played, lefty-lefty, the pitcher has the advantage. And that's not necessarily true with all batters, but he just went with an average of what happens. So again, that's an advantage for the pitcher, so it's a +2. We rolled a 5. We rolled a 5 and a 4. The red die is the batter's die, and it's 1 through 6. Okay? The pitcher gets an 8-sided die until he gets tired. And he rolled a 4. So if it was straight up, the batter, we go off the batter's card, but it wasn't straight up. It was a +2 for Kershaw, so it made it 6-5. That's how the colors affect. And that goes with defense and running and all that. It's a unique rating system. I actually kind of like it. Every once in a while, I look at the wrong team, though. That's my faux pas, not the game's faux pas. So, again, I wish he would have righties and lefties and not the silhouettes are neat looking, but I wish he still had righty-lefty on it. Because especially with younger kids, maybe they pick up on it better. I'm so used to just looking righty. I mean, if I know a team, it doesn't matter. I know the team. I mean, he's done a lot of things that are out of the box, and traditional card and dice players might not like it. I like the difference of it, you know, the different type of game engine. I like it. I tweaked it to my, you know, something else. You know, I took the majority of the rules of the game, and then it's my game now. I can do with it as I please. So I did a little homebrew, and this is my test of it. I like it so far. Might tweak it again as I've played offline a bit, you know. So, all right, here comes Corey Seager. Hope I answered that question, my friend. As Jake Cruz says, you're right. Cards kind of plain without stats. They're very nice cards. They're sturdy. It's a well-made. The mat's beautiful. Everything. I just think, again, it comes down to cost. I asked him the question. He's kind enough to answer my questions. So I'm not the one who put the money in the game. I bought the game, you know, but I didn't put money into to make the game. So I would have liked to see, again, it's a cost thing, he told me. Like on this side where it's blank, maybe you put some stats on it. Or even you could put first base over here and maybe, you know, put some stats on the bottom, offensive stats. It just makes it easier, in my opinion. I mean, it's a traditional. He took. I think that's another thing people don't, who've complained about it. They don't. You don't see. You know, it's not a traditional game. It plays very nice. It's just not a traditional game. So if you don't have an open mind, I don't suggest getting the game. So, all right, here we go. Bottom of the sixth. What time is it? 11:35. Okay, here we go. Bottom of the sixth, due up 2-1 for the Dodgers. Seager, Forsythe, and Barnes. Corey Seager's 0 for 2. Keuchel, again, still fresh. So he's going to stay with the 8-sided die. And we might even keep it that way, as neither pitcher has struggled. So I'm going to say there's fresh unless they give up a few runs. All right, so Keuchel's a beige pitcher. He's a beige pitcher. Beige, brown, whatever you want to call that color. So that's like mid-level. Green being the best, beige being in between, blue being the poorest. And he's a lefty. Corey Seager's a left-handed batter, and he's green. So the lefty goes advantage to Keuchel, but green versus beige, advantage Seager, so it's a wash, so it's a straight-up roll. Pitcher always has the advantage while he's fresh, as he rolls an 8-sided die against a 6-sided die. Here's the pitch from Keuchel to Seager, and it's 8-4 for Keuchel. And that is a 19, and that is a ball hit up in the air. Wave your hands like you just don't care. And that's a pop-up to the catcher. And I'm going to get it right this time. It is McCain who's the catcher, and he is not a good defender. He is a blue defender. So in my homebrew rules, 1, 2, or 3 on the red die, we roll again. And again, if he gets a 1, 2, or 3, it's an error. So first we see if there's an error check, and it's a 19, no error check. And he makes the play. So Seager pops out here in the bottom of the sixth to the catcher. So there's one out, and that will bring up Forsythe. Forsythe scored on a controversial play at the plate when I looked at his defensive rating instead of his runner rating. And again, he is 1 for 1, and he's walked. Scored the go-ahead run as the Dodgers scored twice in the bottom of the fourth. He is a beige batter versus a beige pitcher. That's a wash. Righty-lefty. That's a wash. So it's a straight-up roll. Here's the pitch from Keuchel to Forsythe, and that's a 7-3 in Keuchel's favor. We go to the Keuchel card, and that is a 9, and a 9 is a ball hit on the ground and to the second baseman, who's Altuve. He's a green defender, so that's only a 1 for a possible error check, and we roll an 8, and that's an out, 4-3. I'm liking that stuff, you know. I actually like the modifications, my homebrew modifications I've made. So 2 outs. I love the mat. I like the game. I really do. I just wish there, again, stats, the explanation is stats can be found on Baseball Reference, but, you know, when you're playing a game, how many people want to go and look at Baseball Reference? I mean, I do. I looked up the lineups for Game 1 of the World Series, and that's what we're not playing Game 1 of the World Series. I just went with that lineup. So here's Austin Barnes, 2 outs, no one on. Bottom of the 6th, 2-1 Dodgers. Barnes has grounded out to the catcher and struck out. He will face Keuchel for a third time. Austin Barnes is a green batter versus a beige pitcher. That's +1 for the batter. Righty-lefty, no advantage there, so it's +1 for Barnes. And this is where it comes in. We roll a red 1 and a black 1, but it's +1 for Barnes, the batter. He's the red die, so it's 2-1 in favor of Barnes. We go to the Barnes card, and that's a 17. But again, my homebrew rules, since he's a green batter, had it been a 20, it would have been a strikeout, but it's not. It's a 17, so it is a walk. So Barnes is on, and no big deal. We pitch carefully to him. And here comes Clayton Kershaw, who actually is 2 for 2. He's doubled and singled in a run on the controversial play at the plate that Forsythe scored on. So Austin Barnes is at first, and here comes Clayton Kershaw, the pitcher. And he actually has his own batter's card because he hit enough, I guess. Again, this was a startup game, so hats off to Craig in developing a nice game. And I'm sure, I mean, I can't speak for him. I would think he would tweak it, modify it, but it's his game. You can either buy it, not buy it, get the free download for the basic game, and just play it and enjoy. So Kershaw is a blue batter versus a beige pitcher. So we're just going to go off that because I don't really know what Kershaw is. He a righty? No, he's a lefty. I didn't do that the other time, I don't think. He's a lefty. The silhouette's a lefty. Yeah. So that's a +2 advantage for Keuchel, and that might have come in play the other time. No, he won him straight up. And that's a 6 for Kershaw. But it's so he can only roll a 6. So then we go +2, 6-5 +2 on the pitcher card. So it's a 7-6. So we go to the Keuchel card. He's finally going to most likely get Kershaw out here. And he does. He strikes him out. Side is retired. He gets some revenge. We go to the top of the 7th. And to me, both pitchers are still fresh. We'll give them another inning. It's a 2-1 ball game. I'm calling them fresh. Due up for the Astros, trailing by 1, Gonzalez, Reddick, and Keuchel. So we probably will see a pinch hitter anyway for Keuchel. Marwin Gonzalez had an RBI double in the top of the 2nd, and then he grounded to 2nd. So we go to the top of the 7th, 2-1. Here's the pitch to Marwin Gonzalez. He's a green batter versus a green pitcher. That's a wash. He's a righty versus a lefty. That's a wash. Here's the pitch, and that is an 8 for Kershaw and a 6. 8-6. So Kershaw in control, and that's a 15. Ball hit on the ground to the third baseman, and that's Justin Turner. He's a beige defender, so a 1 or a 2 will be an error check. It's a 12. He comes up throwing, and that is an out. 5-3 if you're scoring at home. As Turner throws to Bellinger. So 1 out, and I'll bring up Josh Reddick. And Reddick is a left-handed batting right fielder, and he's a green batter. So the green and the green washes itself between Kershaw and Reddick, but a lefty-lefty favors Kershaw. He has a +1 advantage. And he needs it because it's a 3 on the batter roll and a 2 on the pitcher roll, but +1 for Kershaw, so it's 3-3, and now we go the higher roll in the 20-sided die, and it is a 6 for Kershaw and a 3 for Reddick, and that's a strikeout. Another K for Kershaw, and I think this will be his last inning. So here comes Dallas Keuchel, and he's not going to hit. Houston will now Down by 1, 2-1, and a bad call at the plate. We'll go with 10, 11, 12, 13. 10, 11, 12, and 13. So Marcinic has home run rolls on 10, 11, 12, and 13. Beltran's only 13 and 14. You got to go to Jake Marcinic to pinch hit. I mean, if we get his card, if he wins the battle, 10, 11, 12, and 13. That's 4 opportunities to tie it up with 1 swing of the bat. So Jake Marcinic will come in to pinch hit. And we're still saying Kershaw is still fresh. So Marcinic comes in. Marisnik. Pinch hitter. 2 outs. Top of the 7th, 2-1 Dodgers. Now he's a beige batter against a green pitcher. And he is a righty. So it's only a +1 for Kershaw. And again, he has 4 chances if we get to his card for a game-tying home run. So it's a +1 for Kershaw. And he wins it anyway, 8-6. So it doesn't, if we can't plus it up any more than 8, so it would have been 8-5. And we go to the Kershaw card, and a 1 through 8 is a strikeout, and it's an 11. That's a ground ball. There will be an error check to first base. Cody Bellinger is a beige defender, so a 1 or a 2 will produce an error check. It's a 2! So now if we roll a 1 or 2 again, it's an error. And it's a 9, so he knocks the ball down and flips to Kershaw, who just beats Marcinic to the bag, and the side is retired. Bottom of the 7th, and we need a new pitcher. As Keuchel's out. So Keuchel is done. And let's get a new pitcher here. 2-1, bottom of the 7th. And Kershaw's day will be done also. Who are we going to bring in to pitch? Ken Giles, the closer. We might as well go with the closer. What the heck? Ken Giles. Let's just look. I think the closer's pitch. Let's see. Pitchers. Again, the rules laid out don't have to be followed really rigidly. You can choose not to. Oh, that's the other thing, stealing a tag up or pitcher fatigue. You don't have to apply pitcher fatigue or anything else. It's all up to you. Play the game the way you feel best. That's what I like about the game. I'm going to say a relief pitcher who's a closer, 6 outs, 2 innings. Again, that's where some people might have a problem. I have no problem. You just can play a common sense game. You can actually look up the stats and see what he did. And you don't have to write them down. And if you want, you can write them down. You can just write it on the back of the freaking card, right? I mean, like how many innings you want him to go. Games, open world. Think of it that way. It's an open world game. With, the basic gameplay is there, and it's very cool. I like it. All right, so Keuchel goes 6 innings. So Keuchel went 6 innings. I probably shouldn't have done this in the small notebook, but again, it's just a test game. And it's for fun. All the games are for fun. And here comes Ken Giles. Try to keep it a 1-run deficit. And he's a right-handed thrower. So Giles is a righty. Keuchel was a lefty. And he's going to face the top of the order because Kershaw struck out. On the 7th. So it's be Chris Taylor. And Taylor's a righty. And it's green. So now, Giles, okay, righty, that's advantage pitcher. Green, beige, that's advantage. So he has a +2 advantage here against Taylor. Here's the pitch from Giles to Taylor, and that's not going to matter because Taylor rolls a 6 against a pitcher 2. We go to the Taylor card. See how he leads off the bottom of the 7th. That's a 19, and that's a strikeout. That's where my little modification comes into play. He's a beige batter. Okay? So 20 and 19 are strikeouts off of his card, and he strikes out. Again, that's a modification. That's a homebrew rule that I came up with. I like it. I felt it was too automatic off the pitcher card or the batter's card. That's just the way I felt. So he Ks. That's his 3rd strikeout. Now I'll bring up Turner, the 3rd baseman. Justin Turner, the bearded wonder. And he is 0 for 2. He's struck out, walked, and grounded to first. He is a green batter. He's righty, so that's a green is a wash. Righty, +1 for the pitcher. And that's not going to matter. 5-1 in Turner's advantage. And a green batter, a 20 is a strikeout on his card. And it won't be. That's a 16. And he walks. So a 1-out walk. I'll bring up Cody Bellinger. Now he's a lefty, so there's no righty advantage. And it's green versus green. He's happy to see Keuchel go. So it's even Stevens. And he wins it 3-1. So it's a 3 for the batter, Bellinger, and a 1 for the pitcher. We go to the Bellinger card, and that is a 6. Again, a green would be a 21st strikeout for him. A 6 is a single. Turner's a beige runner. Where was that ball hit to? Oh, a single, we go with the green die. That's all right. We'll just say left field. So everyone holds. They move up station to station. So 1 out, 2 on. What did Turner do? Did he single or did he get hit by? He walked. I think he walked. Doesn't matter. He's at second base. Bellinger single. Chance for the Dodgers to extend their lead. So 1 out, 2 on. Bottom of the 7th. 2-1 Dodgers on a very controversial play at the plate. And Yasiel Puig comes to the plate. And he's a righty versus a righty. +1 for Giles, the pitcher. And green is Giles versus beige for Puig, +2 for Giles. And it's not going to help because it's 6-2, makes it 6-4. We go to the Yasiel Puig card. 19 and 20, he strikes out, and it's a 4. He does not strike out. He singles. And that's a single to left. The left fielder for Houston, I think that's Marwin Gonzalez is in left field. And he's a beige versus a beige runner. Enrique Hernandez is coming up. Beige versus beige, 50% chance. Bases loaded, 1 out. We'll hold them. So Puig's at first with a single. Picks up his second hit. Bases loaded, 1 out. So Giles is not spelled relief, that's for sure. Cody Bellinger's at second. Turner's at third. Okay. Infield in. I don't really recall an infield in. Again, it just goes off if the pitcher wins the battle. We're going to play infield in. Not sure if we'll turn the double play, so infield in. And here's Enrique Hernandez. Hernandez has homered. Struck out and popped out. Righty. +1 for the pitcher. Green versus beige. +1, so it's +2 for the pitcher. And let's see who's on the bench here. We're going to stick with Enrique Hernandez. All right. So it's +2 for Giles. And he wins it anyway, 4-1. Doesn't need the modification. 1 through 8 is a strikeout. It is a 12, so that's a ground ball. Infield in. Ground ball to the first baseman. The first baseman is Yuli Gurriel. We're thrown to the plate. And he's beige, so a 1 or a 2, and there's an error check. And they have the plate at the plate. And that's the only thing they'll get. We're going to say there's no return throw because he fielded the ball. So they get the lead runner. And now there's 2 outs. As Hernandez goes, he reaches on the fielder's choice. 3-2. He's out. As Turner's thrown out at the plate on the force out. Advancing to third is Bellinger. To second is Puig. And now at first is Enrique Hernandez. So 2 outs. And here comes Corey Seager. And he's a lefty. Green, no advantage. Righty, lefty, no advantage. Straight up roll for Giles. 2 outs, bases loaded. Here's the pitch from Giles to Seager, and it's a 1-1. So the higher die roll between the two 20-sided dies, and that is a 6 for the batter, Seager, and an 8 for Giles. That's a strikeout. Side is retired, so the Dodgers load them up but do not score. Giles proves to be a magician. He gets out of the jam. And he strikes out 2 in a very difficult inning. Go to the top of the 8th, and it's still 2-1 Dodgers. And Logan Forsythe will lead off for them in the next inning. And that's it for Clayton Kershaw. We're going to go with the closer. So Clayton Kershaw gave you 7. He only gave up 1 run. Kershaw's day is done. Top of the order now. Springer, Bregman, and Altuve to face Jansen. In top of the 8th, 2-1 Dodgers. Where is the closer? Here are you, Mr. Closer. It'd help if you had the right team, Al. I do have the right team. All right, we're looking for Jansen, the closer. Where are you? Kenley Jansen. Come in to get hopefully to get the final 6 outs here. As I'm starting to sweat for my fever. That's always a thrill. Okay, Jansen comes in. And he is a right-handed thrower and a green pitcher. So he's going to face George Springer, a right-handed batter, and a green batter. So it's a green washes itself. Righty, favor of Kenley Jansen, +1. Here's the pitch, and it's a 1-1. But Jensen's a +1, so it goes 2-1 in favor of the pitcher. We go to the Jensen card. 1 through 11 is a strikeout, and that's a 15. So that's a ball hit on the ground by Springer to the second baseman, Forsythe. He's a green defender, so only a 1 will induce an error check, and it's a 12. It's an easy play, 4-3, and 1 out, 1 down. So 1 out. Keep that there. And here comes Alex Bregman. Bregman is a green batter versus a green pitcher. That's even, but righty-righty in favor of Jansen by 1. Here's the pitch. And that is an 8 to the pitcher and a 2 to the batter. Doesn't even matter. Hits his spot. And let's see what the result would be. And that's a 20. That is a line drive to the shortstop. And the shortstop is Carlos Correa. He's a green defender, so a 1 will produce an error check. He makes the leaping catch. It's an 8, so that's 2 down. Nice catch on the line out. I messed up there. Hold on a second. I looked at the wrong team. Shortstop is Seager. He's green anyway, so it's the same result. I looked at Carlos Correa by accident. It should have been Corey Seager. He's a green defender too. So again, nice leaping catch by Corey Seager. So a line out for 6. So 2 outs. And it brings up Jose Altuve. 1 swing in the back to tie it. Altuve is a righty. Advantage Kenley Jensen, the pitcher. Righty-righty. Green versus green, that's a wash. Here's the pitch to Altuve. And Jensen wins that 7-4. Again, the modification doesn't come to result. He's looking for a 1-2-3 inning. 1 through 11 is a strikeout. It is a 14. And a 14 is a ball hit on the ground by Altuve. And that goes to the shortstop for the Dodgers, Al. And that's Corey Seager, a green defender. A 1 will produce an error check. It's an 18. He comes up with it. He throws to first. The side is retired. Going to the bottom of the 8th, still 2-1. Dodgers. Pitchers duel here. Due up for the Dodgers in the bottom of the 8th, hoping to get their last at-bats because they're up 2-1, will be Forsythe, Barnes, and Kenley Jensen, and he will hit. We're not going to take the closer out of the game. He's good for 2 innings. So Giles, in his second inning of relief, will face Forsythe. And Forsythe is a right-handed batter versus a right-handed pitcher. +1 Giles, the pitcher. Green for the pitcher, beige for the batter, so it's +2 for Giles. And he rolls. It's a 1 and a 1. Again, this is where the modification comes. So we modify the 1 for the pitcher to a 3. He wins it 3-1. And that is a 6, and he strikes him out. So Forsythe goes down via the K. And there's 1 down in the bottom of the 8th. And now I'll bring up Austin Barnes. With 1 out, bases empty. Barnes is a green batter, so that's a wash against a green pitcher. And a righty-righty, +1 for Kenley Jensen. And it doesn't matter. 7-6, he wins it outright on the pitcher's roll. And that's a 14. That ball's hit on the ground to the first baseman, Cody Bellinger. He's a beige defender, so a 1 or a 2 produces an error check. It's an 18. He has the ball, waves off Jensen, steps on the bag, 2 down. I messed that up. Looked at the wrong. Doesn't matter. The out result 3. Gurriel is a beige defender. Yeah, it's still the same thing, but I looked at the wrong. So it's still a ground out. It's Gurriel unassisted. Love playing this game with a fever. Makes it interesting. Anyway, the result is correct. What I said initially was incorrect. So there's 2 outs, base is empty, and now it'll be Kenley Jensen, and we have to find the Dodgers pitcher's batters card. Or we can just use the Kershaw card, though he was a decent hitting pitcher, it seems. I probably should have pulled that out right off the bat. Rich Hill, Alex Wood. Here's the pitcher's hitter card for the Dodgers. 2 outs. Blue versus green. +2 advantage. I don't know if Jensen's a righty. I'm going to assume he bats righty. So it's a +3 advantage for Giles. And 3-2, he wins it outright anyway. And that's a 15. And that's a ball hit up in the air. We roll the green die. It's a pop up to first. Look at the right team. The first baseman is Yuli Gurriel. He's a beige defender. 1 or 2 will produce an error check. It's a 13. Inning is over. Pops out to first. Top of the 9th, 2-1 Dodgers. And Kenley Jensen will try to close it out. They don't want to see the top of their order. They want to win this game 2-1. And he will face Correa, Gurriel, and McCann. And hopefully Al looks at the right teams when he's supposed to. All right. Carlos Correa, shortstop, green batter, and a righty. So green and green for pitcher against batter. That washes. But righty advantage pitcher. That's how this game engine works. So it's a +1 to Kenley Jensen. Here's the pitch, and that's not going to matter. I rolled the wrong color die, but it's still a 6-sided die. And it's 6-2 advantage to Carlos Correa. We go to the Correa card, and him being a green batter, a 20 will be a strikeout. Everything else will go to the card. And it's a 14, and he's just tied this game up. He homers, and it's a 2-2 ball game. As on the Correa card, 13 and 14 are homers. We rolled a 14. So, as in real life, Kenley Jensen blows a big game save. So, a home run, we will not be playing extra innings because Al's sweating. And he ties it up, and it's 2-2. So, Kenley Jensen blows the win and the save. And it's a 2-2 ball game, top of the 9th. On the Carlos Correa homer. And here's Yuli Gurriel. He's 1 for 3. He singled, scored, struck out, and flown out to center. Righty, +1 for Kenley Jensen. Beige green, plus another +1, so it's +2 for Kenley Jensen, and he needs it. A 4 for the batter and a 2 for the pitcher, but you add the +2 modification. It's 4-4. We go to the higher 20-sided die rolls. And that's a 10 for Kenley Jensen against a 6, and that is a strikeout. So there's 1 out. As Jensen strikes out Gurriel. And I'll bring up the left-handed batting catcher, Brian McCann. McCann, excuse me. McCann, 0 for 3. He's flown out, grounded out, and struck out against Kershaw. Green versus beige. That's +1 for Kenley Jensen, the pitcher, but righty-lefty, no advantage. So it's +1 for Jensen. Here's the pitch to McCain, and that's a 5-3 for Jensen. Modification does not matter. We go to the Jensen card, and that's a 12. That's a ground ball to the shortstop, and that's Seager, and he's a green defender. So a dice roll of a 1 will produce an error check. And it's a 2. He makes a diving play, pops up, and throws to first for out number 2. Nice play. Great play by Seager. 6-3. So there's 2 outs now. Again, game-tying homer to lead off the inning by Correa. And here comes Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin Gonzalez is playing left field. He's doubled in a run in the second, and he's grounded out twice since then. Jensen deals to Marwin Gonzalez. Green versus green. That's a wash, but righty is a +1 for the pitcher, Kenley Jensen. And it doesn't matter. It's a 4 for Gonzalez against a 1, which would be a 4 versus a 2. We go to the Gonzalez card. Can he keep the inning alive? He is a green batter, so a 20 will be a strikeout. It's not a strikeout. It's a 3, and that's a 2-out single. So Marwin Gonzalez singles. Go ahead, run at first. That's his second hit. He's now 2 for 4, and here comes Josh Reddick. Gonzalez is a beige base runner. He's at first. There'll be a pinch hitter for the pitcher if we get that far. Green versus green is a wash. Righty, lefty. No effect. So it's a straight up 8-sided pitcher die against a 6-sided batter die. And Josh Reddick wins it 5-4. 2-2 ball game. Reddick, 15's a home run. And it is a 19. And he's a green batter, so only a 20 would have been a strikeout. A 19 is a walk. So the go-ahead run moves into scoring position as Kenley Jensen, maybe he's beginning to labor here. That's a walk. And here comes a pinch hitter for Ken Giles. So Reddick's at first, 2-2 ball game. Take care, JD. Hi, Herb. Winning run, or go-ahead run at second. And now Carlos Beltran, Evan Gaddis, Derek Fisher, J.D. Davis. Ooh. Tyler White is a green batter. Let's use Tyler White. I don't know how many games he actually played with him. I don't remember, but we got him carded. He's going to play in this game. As everyone's eligible on both teams. He's a green batter. What's that decent amount at bats? And he is a righty, so Tyler White will come in. Now we're going to need a pitcher. Lance McCullers. Brad Peacock. Brad Peacock will come in. So Tyler White will pinch hit for Ken Giles. White to pinch hit. And again, there's not going to be any extra innings. Al's not feeling good. I just wanted to test this out. Going fall asleep. I tried to go to bed early. I didn't feel good. All right, 2 outs. Go ahead, run at second. Here's Tyler White. He's a green batter, and he's a righty. So green versus green is a wash, but righty's a +1 for Kenley Jensen. Here's the pitch. And it's a 5-5, but it's a +1 for Kenley Jensen, so it goes 6-5. We go to the Kenley Jensen card. It's a 13. And a 13 is a ground ball to the third baseman. The third baseman for Houston is Bregman. He's a beige defender. 1 or 2 will produce an error check. That's a 16. He has it. He throws to first. The side is retired. But Houston ties it up on the Correa homer. They strand the go-ahead run at second in Marwin Gonzalez. So the pinch hitter goes out 5-3. And unless we score a run for the Dodgers, it will be a tie ball game. We'll go to penalty kicks. We might go to a home run contest. We'll go to a home run contest. That's what we'll do. We'll go to a home run contest. How fun will that be? I think it'll be wicked fun. We'll end it on a home run contest. Something new in baseball. Wild and crazy. We can do whatever we want. It's America. All right, due up for the Dodgers to face Brad, proud as a peacock. As I run out of room on my little notebook. Again, I don't know why I did it in the little notebook, but it's too late now. All right, so Giles went 2 innings. And eight. So Kenley Jensen blows a save. So we go to the top of the order, just what we didn't want to see. So Kenley Jensen went 2 innings as he pitched the 7th and the 8th, the 8th and the 9th. I think his day is done. So he will not be the pitcher in the home run contest. We'll go to somebody else. Actually, so it's Brad Peacock now. Proud as a peacock. Trying to get to the home run contest now. That's how we're going to play it. That's kind of an interesting little rule I just made up. I like it. I like it a lot. The things you think of when you have a fever and you don't feel good. Awesome sauce. All right, Peacock's a green pitcher against Taylor, a beige batter. And he's a righty versus a righty. So a +1 for Peacock as the +2 actually. What am I saying? That's a +2 for Peacock. And he'll need it. He wins it outright though, 7-6. We go to the Peacock card. 1 through 9 is a strikeout. That's a 15. That is a ground ball. And it's a number in front of the plate. Let's get this right. The catcher's Austin Barnes. He's a beige defender. 1 or 2 error check. It's a 15. He makes the play. I messed it up again. God damn it, Al. God damn it. Seriously. The catcher is McCann. He's a blue catcher for Houston. 1 through 3 is an error check. We rolled a 15. He makes the play. I don't know why I've done it. It's the fever. I'll blame it on the fever. Okay. So that's 2-3 here in the 9th. On the putout. So there's 1 away. We're 2 outs away from this thrilling home run contest that will end the game. Alrighty. Justin Turner. He's a green batter, righty-righty. Green versus green's a wash. Righty-righty +1 for Peacock. And that's 7 for the pitcher, 3 for the batter. He wins it outright. And the dice rolls a 2. He strikes him out. So 2 down. And it's up to Cody Bellinger with 2 outs. Actually, we'll just call it a tie. I don't feel like rolling for the home run contest. Bellinger is... What is Bellinger? 1, 2, 3. He's 1 for 4. He's popped out twice, struck out, and singled, was stranded at third. And see that big inning when they had bases loaded, 1 out, and they didn't get any runs. It's going to come back and haunt the Dodgers. 2-2 ball game. Bellinger's a lefty, so the lefty-righty, no advantage for either. Green versus green, that's a wash. It's a straight-up roll. And the pitcher wins it 2-1. Again, the pitcher has the advantage. Well, he's not fatigued, as he rolls an 8-sided die against a 6-sided die, and he wins it 2-1. And that is a 16. That's a ball hit up in the air. Wave your hands like you just don't care. That's a 12. That ball goes out to right field, and the right fielder for the Astros is Josh Reddick. He is a beige defender, so a 1 or a 2 will produce an error check, and it's a 1. So now we roll again, and if it's a 1 or a 2, it's an error, and it's a 10. He makes the diving catch, and that retires the bottom of the 9th in a tie ball game. As I run out of room, I don't feel good. I like the modifications I made. I got to tweak it just a bit more with the double plays. I got to figure that out a little bit more. So what did he do? Oh, Reddick. 9. So after 9 innings of play, it's 2-2. All right, we're going to call the stream, folks, as we went almost 2 hours, and I tested out. It's 2-2 at the end of 9, and this was really a what I call it, home brew. We tested out some home brew modifications, and I kind of liked them. And this game does play a lot faster without me explaining things, and probably if I wasn't sick, I would have went faster too. But so 2-2, I like the modifications that I did. Just to go over the modifications, you roll your dice. Obviously, that's the same thing. If it's an even roll, we then roll the 2 20-sided die, and whichever dice is higher, you go with that. If that's even, you go to the wild card. We had to go to the wild card once. It was a wild pitch. The other thing we've done is any play that's taken off the pitcher card to whoever the fielder is, if he is a green fielder, we roll the 20-sided die, and if it's a 1, it's an error check. So if you roll a 1 and you roll a 1 again, it's an error. And if it's a beige, it's a 1 or a 2. And if it's blue, 1, 2, or 3. You have to roll it. You have to fall in that range twice, so the error is not likely to occur. Not many errors actually happen in a baseball game. I'm trying to stick with the way the game was developed. That's another modification. With the batters, if you're a green batter and we go to the batter card, if you roll a 20, it's a strikeout, as opposed to a walk. And then if you're beige, it's a 19 or 20, it's a strikeout. And if you're a blue batter, it would be an 18, 19, or 20 or strikeout. So it gives a little something not as automatic, but pretty automatic. So anyhow, thank you for everyone who watched. Hope all is well. Thank you to Herb Pilgrim, JD, Original Grognard, Jake Cruz, Living My Rhapsody, excuse me, Bobby Cantilano. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the game. Again, just felt like testing out. I like to record it because I like to go back and look and see. I think it went well, not with the length of the gameplay, but with the modifications. I want to work on double plays next. And again, as you know, he stated in the book, in his rules, you can modify the game the way you want. And Craig will probably watch it and he'll tell me what he thinks about the feedback. So, alright, just thoughts on the game. Alright, thank you very much. Good night, Herb. I'm going to bed myself. I don't feel good. Alrighty, health and happiness. Next time, take care. Bye-bye. God bless. Watch out for the curveball in the dirt. You know it's coming. Peace!